everyone, I'm Megan Lee, and welcome to the Noob Reviews. In this video, I want to go over two Spider-Woman comics that I have. One is a continuation of a storyline we were following of Spider-Woman. Has she turned killer? Alright, so this is Spider-Woman. Has she turned killer? And she's teamed up with the Enforcer. And this is by Stan Lee, obviously. Art is by Ernie Chan and Frank Springer. And we have, this one is from August 1980. Yes. So, just as like a little recap, criminologist Scotty McDowell attempted to rescue the Spider-Woman, pardon, I have a cold and allergies, from the Enforcer. The villain plunged him into a death-like trance with a poison which will kill Scotty the moment his body temperature is allowed to rise above freezing. In hopes of rescuing her friend from the ghastly living death, the alluring Angel of Nighttime has struck a bargain with the Enforcer, agreeing to become the villain's partner in crime in return for the antidote needed to restore Scotty. So, here he is in the freezer so that he doesn't, explode, basically. And she has joined forces with the Enforcer. Obviously, this is not Spider-Woman's thing. This is not something she wanted to do, but she's doing it for Scotty. We have the courier editor, or in chief, or owner, and he's been spying on them through a mic he has placed on the Enforcer, so he can hear everything they're doing, and he knows where they are, so that he can send film crew and cameras to catch all the exciting heists that are about to happen. And also, it just frames Spider-Woman even more as a bad person, which is not great for her. So Spider-Man has heard about this, and he can't really believe that Spider-Woman is bad, so he's actually flying out to see her. And this flight that he's on also happens to have some gems on it as well, under lock and key, of course. But the Enforcer hijacks the plane with his own plane, makes Spider-Woman do the dirty work. They get onto this plane, where Spider-Man himself happens to be, and he changes into his outfit, and he and Spider-Woman face off on the airplane. And of course, the courier has planted journalists, and they somehow have a helicopter or another plane in the air. Is it another plane? Yes, another plane in the air. Coincidental. So we have this great big epic battle. The Enforcer is like, well, we gotta escape. Spider-Man follows them, falls into his death, seemingly, apparently, into the ocean, and the Enforcer gets away. And of course, due to the courier is just pleased as punch. He's got great news now. He is making bucks, right? And even worse for Spider-Woman, because there is no way now to clear her name. At this point, right? She wants to save her friend, but she's got to clear her name. How can she do this? And she thinks she's killed Spider-Man on top of everything else. No, she didn't. Oh, of course, we know Spider-Man, he's not dead. He did not die. He just had to swim a long time, but he's fine. And he immediately found it suspicious that there was somebody from the courier on the plane and also in, another plane and able to film everything that happened. So he went and spied at the courier, of course, realized what's going on, and then finds Spider-Woman with the Enforcer at his hideout and engages him. And this is where Spider-Woman has to make a choice. Does she join Spider-Man and fight against the Enforcer and possibly lose the antidote? And in the end, she does. She does the right thing and finds out that there's actually no antidote anyway, and of course the Enforcer was lying to her. But Spider-Man clears her name, and they are able to put Scotty in a cryogenic capsule, basically, so they can keep him alive until they find a way to save his life. But this whole comic book, I am enjoying the storyline. It was very cool to see Spider-Man and Spider-Woman together, battle each other, and then join forces and battle the Enforcer himself. So that was actually quite exciting. I enjoyed that. And then, of course, I'm going to have to get the next issue, because what happens to Scotty? You know what I'm saying? What happens to Scotty? I don't know. Right. So the next Spider-Woman, I was super excited to pick up. I got this at Pensacon. And I was so excited because it is guest starring Werewolf by Night. The Enforcer strikes. Always the Enforcer. I was really excited because I love Werewolf by Night and I've read that series. Overall, I was actually unimpressed with this storyline. I found it a little bit weak, and it was like they just were kind of desperate to put these two together. They've met before, so this is their second meeting, although Werewolf, he doesn't remember it. I think they just wanted to put them together because he's popular, right? And I feel they could have done it better. It just seemed a little awkward, this storyline. So this is called The Beast Within. And basically, this one is also this is October 1979. So this is a year before this issue. So in this storyline, basically, Spider-Woman is lonely. She is drained. She's just sad. Like, she and her boyfriend, Jerry, they've broken up. She is living by herself. She's no longer with Mrs. Dolly, I think, who was the lady whose house she rented a room with, because Mrs. Dolly is now at a mental hospital. She's got what seems to be like Alzheimer's or something. So she goes to visit her, and they make it kind of seem like Spider-Woman's actually about to check herself in, because she's so depressed on the first page, and then you see her coming up to this mental hospital, and I was like, oh, she's checking herself in. And then it ends up she's actually there to visit with Miss Dolly, who doesn't really remember her, but, gives her a little bit of happiness. I mean, just to talk to somebody she kind of knows, even if that somebody doesn't remember her. But she does go to, like, this group counseling session, and she can't tell everything about herself because obviously she's Spider-Woman. She has to keep that secret. And everybody at this counseling session knows that she's holding something back, and they kind of like jump all over her. And this one girl comes to her rescue and says, she doesn't have to speak if she doesn't want to. You guys need to let this go. And then she brings Spider-Woman home with her and lets her stay the night. They made it seem like she just met this girl, and I'm sorry, I don't think I would be going to spend the night at someone's house if I just met them at a group counseling session. Personally, I just don't think I would do that. But anyways, they wanted this whole setup so that while she's staying the night, she hears strange noises, puts on her Spider-Woman suit, and who does she run into but Werewolf himself? Basically jumping out of somebody's window. It's just, I don't know, it's all happenstance, and I feel like there could have been a better way, a different storyline they could have used, But anyways, Werewolf is fighting some strange guy, who we eventually find out is the Enforcer, of course. Who else would it be but the Enforcer? In disguise, but obviously that's a disguise. Ooh, what a great disguise. A long coat and a fedora. Typical. And so Werewolf and Enforcer and Spider-Woman all fight. He's able to subdue them, except for Spider-Woman, because she heals really fast, right? She rescues Werewolf. I didn't realize she was this strong. This woman is able to carry Werewolf, carry him, and then climb up the building with him in her arms. She's not a big woman, but apparently she's very strong in her Spidey form. So, wow. So he changes back from Wolfman into himself. The police have seen all of this, but he sends them off on their way. And basically she's like, hey, I've met you before. We've met before. What was the Enforcer doing, attacking you? And here's where I was just like, this is just strange. I don't understand. This is what they say. Jack, when he's human, he's Jack. Werewolf by Night is Jack. He says, I'm not certain, but I have a hunch it has to do with an incident that occurred to Buck, his friend, whose house he's staying at. While I was off in New York, Buck was entertaining her fiance and her kid. Buck went to the kitchen and found that his sister was passed out at the feet of an intruder. That intruder was an old employee whose sudden appearance caused the sister to faint. And this man is ranting. And then this man somehow bursts into flame. While he's ranting, he just combusts, burns into flame, burns the whole house down. Since then, Buck's been investigating the circumstances of this weird death. He had come over to tell what he learned. But as Buck walked in, the enforcer showed up, flashed a gun, and then that's when Jack changed into werewolf. So there's this whole strange other storyline that I'm sure we'll get to know more. But, like, I don't know. Maybe it's because I am missing out on more details, but it felt a little bit weak. I expected more of Werewolf by Night and Spiderwoman. Maybe it's just filler set up for the next issue story. Maybe it will be better. I feel like they're going to try and get them together, though. I mean, at least they're friends. They're friends now, and she's happy because she doesn't feel so alone. And I'm just like, are they going to hook these two up? I don't know. Do Jack, aka Werewolf, hook up and Spiderwoman hook up? I don't know. But overall, this was not my favorite Spider-Woman story. And most of them I've really enjoyed. This one I didn't as much. So it's cool that I have this comic, but wasn't I as impressed by it.